behalf of Portland Public Schools, welcome to tonight's District Wrestling Championships. We are so proud to showcase some of the hardest working student athletes in our district. These wrestlers represent not only their schools, but the values of Portland Public Schools. Perseverance, integrity, respect, and excellence. Wrestling demands discipline, strength, and heart. It's a sport that tests character as much as skill. Every athlete here has committed countless hours to preparation, balancing academics and athletics while pushing themselves to improve every single day. We would like to recognize and thank our coaches for their leadership, our officials for ensuring fair competition, and our families and supporters for standing behind these athletes throughout the season. To our wrestlers, compete with courage, show respect to your opponents, and represent your schools with pride. Fans, we ask that you cheer loudly, support positively, and help us create an atmosphere that reflects the sportsmanship and excellence of Portland Public Schools. Now, let's get ready for an incredible night of district wrestling. Let the matches begin.
We begin the first final in the 108-pound category, and let's start with Sebastian Brooks, a senior from Denver. His most memorable experience with wrestling was qualifying for nationals 2 years in a row. And he says he'd love to thank his coaches for believing in him, and his father for keeping him motivated, and his upperclassmen. And his opponent in the 108 final is Griffin Farr. His most memorable experience with wrestling was going to state last year. And he would like to thank his family for coming to his tournaments and supporting him. Next up, at 113, Hildardo Perez Jaiso. His most memorable experience with wrestling, bus rides with teammates with me to go to and from tournaments. And he would like to thank his coaches for helping him get to this point, and I hope to make everyone proud.
Yeah.
His opponent at 113, Gaius Vickery of Benson. Most memorable experience with wrestling? Wrestling for Roosevelt again my sophomore year. And he would like to thank both his practice partners, Tristan and Lucas, for making him a better wrestler and pushing him every day. And now at 120 pounds, we have Eli Borayo of Cleveland. His most memorable experience, he says he doesn't have one. Maybe he'll have one today. He would like to thank his teammates and coaches as well as my family. His opponent at 122 pounds, Isaac Honel of Jefferson. Is meeting so many people and making so many close friends and connections. And he would like to thank all of his coaches at Peninsula the wrestling club that care about him and want him to succeed. Additionally, he thanks his parents and supportive friends who push him to never give up. And now at 126 pounds, we begin Mateo Mazarregos. His most memorable experience with wrestling, pinning Coach Jake. And he would like to thank his friends and family for being there for him, and thank the coaches who are always pushing him. And his opponent at 126 pounds is Shay Morrison. Most memorable experience with wrestling? Watching my friends Olivia and Titus wrestle. And he would like to thank Coach Pittman for believing in him when others didn't. And we have Stuart Bromwell of Cleveland. His most memorable experience with wrestling, buying my first pair of shoes. And he would like to thank coaching staff, parents, and his training partner. At 132 pounds, Saddam Rezai. He didn't write down what school he's from.
McDaniel!
McDaniel. He is a junior. And his most memorable experience with wrestling is celebrating my win with my coach and teammates in school. And he's grateful for God and second from my coaches and my family. Moving to the 138-pound brackets, August Takeoff. His most memorable experience with wrestling, winning the district tournament as a sophomore. He would like to thank his training partner, Cassius, for consistently pushing him this season, as well as my coaches, specifically Warren, for everything he has brought me. And approaching him at 138 pounds, a junior from McDaniel, Michael Alonso. Anyway, his most memorable experience with wrestling is making it to the district finals. And he is thankful for his coaches and his family for all of their support. Now, Ford Morris, a junior from McDaniel. Being a state qualifier freshman year. And we would like to thank his coaches for always supporting him and pushing him to be a better wrestler. And to my practice partner, Michael, for never going easy on him. We want to thank Connor Hutchison, a senior from Roosevelt. Memorable experience with wrestling, pinning Coach Justin. He would like to thank his family for their support throughout high school. And he would like to thank his coaches and Caroline for pushing him to be more than I ever could have imagined. At 150 pounds, we have Ben Suzuki, a senior from General High School. His most memorable experience with wrestling, and I'm sure all the other wrestlers can relate, eating and drinking after weighing in. He would like to thank his team, coaches, and father for supporting his wrestling. And he will face Jasper Adamson. With my teammates at the Oregon State Wrestling Camp. He would like to thank his parents and his girlfriend for always showing up to support him. And now at 137 pounds, a senior from Roosevelt, Spencer Thompson. Most memorable experience with wrestling? Going to the final senior year. He would like to thank his parents for always supporting him and Justin for teaching me how to win. And he will face Titus Rodella, his most memorable experience with wrestling is what he's about to do. Wrestling under the spotlight. He would like to thank his parents, brother, and wrestling family. Next up, 165, and Nolan Johnson, a sophomore junior. Most memorable experience with wrestling, going to youth tournaments with his brother and dad. He would also like to thank his grandpa for encouraging him and helping him throughout his career. He will face Joaquin Alomia. Wrestling experience, going to Kaiser Wrestling Camp with his friends and winning his first varsity match. And he would like to thank his coaches, especially Warren, for always believing in him, as well as his friends and family for supporting him. Now in the 175-pound category in Judah Barnett. Memorable experience with wrestling, coming into practice and working hard every day. And he would like to thank his coaches for making him better. And in the finals, he will face Luke Kuhn. Most memorable experience with wrestling, gaining 10 pounds after a tournament. He would like to thank all of his coaches who have supported him and all of his teammates pushing him to be better. On to 190 pounds and Cole Thomas, a senior from his most memorable wrestling experience, winning 2025 district tournament and PIL duels with his teammates. And he would like to thank his dad for coaching the team and myself and mentoring me to become a better wrestler and man. with wrestling, making state my first year. And we would like to thank Coach Justin, Coach Jake, and Coach Daniel for putting up with my stalling. And I can't read his first name, but 2 other people for being great wrestling partners, and his parents for coming to every meet. Now to 215 pounds, a senior from McDaniel, Lucas McCall Petke. Most memorable experience with wrestling, watching my teammates grow over the years as wrestlers and as people. He would like to thank his coaches for believing in him, his parents for supporting him, Chaz and Eddie for teaching me, or he, to wrestle my own way. And he will oppose in the 215 final, Giovanni Burks. Most memorable experience with wrestling, the long conversations and relationships he's built. He wants to thank all of the coaches for believing in him and always pushing him to be his best. And now to the 285 category, a senior from Franklin High School, Jeffrey Smith. This is his most memorable experience with wrestling because he is here after his knee injury. He'd like to thank Coach Grady, who got him into wrestling and is the reason he has most of what he has accomplished. And his dad is his biggest supporter, even if it's excessive at times. Josiah Clay. Most memorable experience with wrestling, winning his first ever match with a cradle.